At the moment, we'll be looking at the ministerial nominees of President Bola Tinubu. It's transmitted 28 names to the National Assembly, the Senate precisely. And these people, 25% of them female, 75% male. 4 of them are former governors, and 2 of them are sitting federal lawmakers. And of course, we'll be seeing a whole lot of reactions trailing as they go tomorrow to now start their grilling with federal lawmakers in the Senate for the confirmation. Let's get some insight into what could come tomorrow morning from the grilling. I'm being joined by a former Minister of Works and a former Senator, Senator Ogunlewe, who joins us from our Lagos studio. It's good to see you, Senator Ogunlewe. Tomorrow, Monday, against the usual procedure of the Senate, they're going to meet, be in plenary to sit on the confirmation and the screening process of the ministers. But give us an understanding, these minister designates, what could we expect? Now, Monday, sitting on Monday, extraordinary, because usually they would have started their weekly week in the plenary on Tuesday. What kind of grilling should we be expecting?
Thank you for having me. Good evening, viewers. Well, let us classify these candidates into groups. There are groups that are members of the National Assembly before, senators and House of Reps members. To my mind, those one will get accelerated clearance because that is tradition and it's their privilege. They won't take time on them, they will clear them. Then we have 4 governors, 2 of the governors were also senators too. So they will also get accelerated clearing. So it depends, it's now left with those people who are totally new to the system. There are party members too, that Dr. Otu, and a few of them, those ones will also get accelerated clearance. Now, we now have people who have no lineage or linkage with existing system. They are the ones that will now be thoroughly, quizzed, so to speak.
So we're talking about Senator Owaneno. We're talking about Senator Umai, Senator Baka Kiari. These are those who have been in the National Assembly. Also, Honorable Olubumi Tunji-Ojo is also a member of the National Assembly, and equally former Honorable Onyeji Ocha. These are those who have been in the National Assembly. So you imagine that these people will get some kind of accelerated clearance or confirmation. But do you imagine that some people may have some tough time? We saw in some other times the likes of Obatunde Fashola. He had a long conversation with the National Assembly. His own screening took a longer time than some other members of the nominees by President Buhari in their own time. But who are those you think might have some lengthy grilling process?
I don't think there will be any need for that. These are party representatives. They've been cleared by the party. They've been cleared by security agents. The National Assembly have very little to do. And the time, the situation of the country may not warrant lengthy talking. We need people to come and be ministers so that the country can move forward. There is no need. All these people have been screened by the security agents. They have been also cleared by the party. And I know the president will have done his own work very well. It's going to be very smooth sailing for everybody. That's my prediction.
If there is one person screening that you are looking forward to, who would that be?
None. It's only, the manifesto of the party will be critical because we don't want ministers to dictate the policy of the party. The policy of the party is already enunciated in the manifesto of the party. That is the only question they should ask them, whether they are familiar with the manifesto of the party. I will advise them to read through the manifesto of the party, and then the National Assembly members, senators cannot ask them questions restricted to only the manifesto of the party. Don't allow them to formulate policy for the party. It's going to be disjointed somehow.
If you look at it now, over the years, members of the National Assembly, especially senators, have requested that when presidents are transmitting names of minister nominations for ministerial positions, they should come with portfolios. So it makes their work easier, and we know how to streamline their questioning and the grilling of some of these nominees. I mean, how helpful or how difficult would their job be if the portfolios are now attached? Evidently, it wasn't attached.
Look, if I know how party system works, the Senate president, the deputy Senate president, the majority leader would probably have known, the portfolio to be assigned to these people. It's not going to be a secret thing. Parties don't work, it doesn't work that way. It's not only one person who will know why we pick this person, why we pick this person. There must be an idea of what the role they can play in this system before they were nominated. So it's not going to be difficult at all. And it's not going to be an issue. One can guess who is going to be where. And members of the National Assembly, the Senate President, the Deputy Senate President, and probably the Speaker or the Majority Leader, they will have known a little about the portfolio to be assigned to these candidates. So it's not going to be, they can have an executive section, and they will have discussed this matter. It's a party thing. The party should not allow the opposition to take it over from them.
It doesn't look like it's going to be an entirely a party thing, because it is not only APC lawmakers that are going to be grilling them. It will be a joint session. It will be in a committee of the whole. That means 109 senators, if possible, in the exception of one of the nominees who is also a sitting senator, Senator Dave Umahi. But in all of these, a few names that have come up, when we imagine the kind of portfolio that they could fall into. Take, for example, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, who is a very senior lawyer, a senior advocate of Nigeria. One will imagine that it might be the next Attorney General of the Federation. Professor Pate, who was a former Minister of State for Health, might be the next Minister of Health. Someone like Senator, Honorable, the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, is being, a lot of people are talking about him heading the power ministry, and the former governor of Rivers State heading the Ministry of Works, and a few positions that people are speculating could be go. There are those who are evident and obvious. We have also another medical doctor there, Better Edu. We have a few lawyers within the nominees. Mr. David Alake has a clear profile. What he's done all his life is being in the area of communication, media, and journalism. But in these, what would you say from your experience that could be going on the minds of President Bola Tinubu, the man that you know who has been the governor of Lagos State for 8 years? These kind of personalities, what can you predict? What can you foresee looking at the crystal ball?
As we are speaking now, it will be in discussion with critical stakeholders in the party and in the National Assembly. And they will have determined who is going to man which portfolio. It's not going to be himself alone. It's a team player. He will have discussed extensively with so many people. And before tomorrow morning, every stakeholder in that group will have known who is going to be where. So they are going to the National Assembly will just be a formality. I think so.
But some of the senators are already speaking. They said it will not be a formality, and they will grill them. to the joy of Nigerians. For example, for them to be able to know what exactly they are going there to do. The nation is at a critical stage. But before you, if you look at it, could you predict if there's a possibility that maybe one or two persons may not be confirmed by the senators?
I don't think so. Naturally, they will have held executive session before they go into main plenary. And they will have discussed and ironed out a few things. And it depends on the skill of the Senate president. And I can assure you, he's an extremely skillful politician. You don't allow anybody to impede, the program of your party. You will have discussed with them and get clearance, and then we move ahead. I don't think it's going to be difficult. It's going just to be a normal exercise, because the nation is waiting. We are in a hurry to have a cabinet to move on. So anybody who wants to disturb what we are doing now may not have his way. Nigeria may be unhappy. Let us have an executive. Let the country move forward. The president alone cannot be running the country. So clear them immediately by Tuesday, Wednesday. Let them have the portfolio. Let them be inaugurated. Let the country move forward.
But I mean, yes, it's good that we need to, have a clearance and a closure to some of these things so that the nation can move forward. But again, the reason why the National Assembly is there, and interestingly, you are one person that has sat in the two parts of government. You've been a senator, you've been in the cabinet. But again, is that no one will say, just screen them and go in. At the end of the day, if they do not perform, Nigerians will be asking questions. But you guys were the ones who screened them. And that's why it is critical for them, for the senators to take a critical look. Anyone who does not look like a minister that can serve Nigeria should not be screened. I think that will be the kind of feeling that Nigerians will have. If someone does not fit the bill, it should go back home, let the president replace such a person. Don't you think so?
That's not my own idea of the work of a minister. Fortunately for us, APC has a manifesto. In that manifesto, if you read it properly, almost everything has been spelled out, what they want to do, how they want to achieve their goals. Probably they will have committees like they have now on revenue, they have on taxes, that will now formulate a policy. The minister is not supposed to be formulating policy for the party or for the government. The government should formulate policy and allow the minister to implement that policy. Because if you allow the tendency of the individual minister to interfere with the manifesto and policy of your government, there will be a distortion. Because there are so many characters around. You can bring a minister who does not believe in primary health care. Whereas the base of any form of medical services is primary health care. And it's a surgeon. What are you going to do? And your own program is primary health care. Look at what happened in the area of education. We have some universities started to increase fees, and Unity School increased fees. That is not the policy of the government. We should not allow an individual to take over the responsibility of government. Government policy must be adhered to by the minister, not the minister to dictate the policy to government. You embarrass that government. Government is saying university education is free. Somebody is saying they must pay. So who did they vote for? They voted for the party. So my own view is that the party must take a stand. This is our policy. This is what we want to do. If you have a different view, you can go out and go away with your different view. This is our manifesto. This is what we must abide with. And this is our policy. And our policy must be sacrosanct. It is not for the minister to be like the past government, where a minister will say something that is at variance with the policy of government. And there was a lot of distortion. And people could not, in any way assess the performance of that government, because so many people were talking different things in the same government. That is not the way. You have to follow the policy of the government, the policy of the president. If you cannot follow it, you get out. So don't allow the minister to dictate policy for government. It's going to lead to distortion.
Senator, I was going to ask you, the party that you're making reference to, the party's leadership is also in some kind of turmoil. I mean, but, well, that's on one hand. But give us your view on the political interplay in the decision of President Tinubu, the choice of 4 former governors, the choice of a former PDP governor, Governor Nyesom Wike. What kind of interplay, politically speaking, do you think this a taste and fashion that this has brought into play?
It is so easy to decipher. If you are following the trajectory of the development that accumulated in the last election, you will know the role Wike played, and you must give him a compensation for that role. The Umahi or something from Ebonyi, an outstanding engineer. Look at what he did in Ebonyi, in Abakaliki. And he's somebody that's supposed to be encouraged to participate at the federal level so that he can replicate whatever he did there in the Ministry of Works or National Planning. So everybody, or El-Rufai, you know El-Rufai's role during the primary of APC. Or Bagudu, everybody participated actively in the success of APC, whether we are in opposition or not. Like the person in Oyo was able to make sure that PDP did not, have it easy. So everybody
let me
played
ask
a role.
Senator, yeah. So let me take you up on this quickly. The big question here will be performance. President Buhari's template, like those who work under him will say, is the kind of person that he will allow you to try out whatever you want to do. But those who have worked with President Tinubu will say, look, he's not the kind of person that has too much of a patience if you don't perform. Nigerians are also very impatient. There hasn't been any very strong process or system in ensuring that ministers are judged by their performance. What kind of a system should be put in place to ensure that if you do not perform, you exit?
Good government policy. The government must make sure that they identify the policy properly. It is not for the minister to determine the policy of government. The party must participate actively in what any minister is doing. Don't allow a minister to mess the party up. If he does so, remove him and let him go away. The party must have a program. The party must have a public policy. Is it welfareism? Is it capitalism? Do you want to concession some property? Do you want to sell them? You must articulate whatever you want to do as a party, as a government. That is what you give to the minister to implement. And it is the president, I know very well, all these things he will do overnight himself and give it to you to implement. He will not allow you to mess him up. Definitely not. Because so many people have access to him. If you are not performing, he will know. It's not he will not remove himself from public gear. Anybody, even the smallest body on the street, will have access to him and tell him, this minister is not performing. And he will take action immediately. He's not going to stay behind and say, go and talk to the chief of staff. Go and talk to the secretary of the government.
All right.
Everything. You'll be
Senator Adesheye Ogunlewe, a former Minister of Works and a former federal lawmaker. Thank you so much for the insight that you've given. A lot of Nigerians will be watching and waiting for the screening process, which will commence tomorrow morning. And we'll be keeping tabs on that. Stick to Channels Television. We'll be bringing you details of how that screening goes. Thank you so much indeed.
For the candidates, best of luck.
Thank
you.